Rest in Many Pieces are going to have to play clinically brilliant to kind of pull through this. It's just, I mean, everything is down, it's so clutch, everything is so, you know, every moment is so niche in a way that you really need to just be so twitchy as an RMP team to be able to open up that kill. Yep. But the ability to stay alive for an extended period of time and still have cooldowns available to get a kill is a real skill as an RMP. So can the Germans do it then? Yep. Here we go, round one.
Gates are open, so will the size, will Azox's skills match the size of his ego? Let's wait and see. You can actually see an interview with him as well on our Intel Extreme Masters channel. So bad sitting in sap at the moment from Sanchez, and Mousesports certainly have game. They're taking the being assertive here at the start of this one.
Yeah, Sanchez is actually going to be trying to train. He's going to get pulled off. You have a fear onto Azox and Machine. That could have been used quite nicely. Following Sanchez, still gets healed up. Chains of Ice, he's going to break it, and he's going to do Cloak of Shadows and look to reopen up onto Azox. He's homed in on his target, knows what he wants, but he's going to get pulled off with Chains of Ice. There we go, back onto the target of Azox, drops him down. In comes Phil Dryden as well with the Holy Fires, and a lot of damage. There is no polys to control the back end, so they really are just fighting through the HOTS. It does look like a lot of them were getting dispelled. He's only got one Life Bloom up and a Nourish, put into an improved counter spell, but Sanchez needs to get back onto his target. He's put into a stun, but they do get the kill, but Sanchez could potentially go down in this situation. Phil Dryden, they've already Machine is annoyed at the situation. He's like, you guys are human, you're rubbish. Stop making mistakes, I'm a machine. And they will obviously lose the first one. So Rest in Many Pieces currently leading 1-0. A little bit of room to breathe, but certainly they won't have any room in this arena as everything will be very much close quarters. Waterfall in the middle can affect line of sight, 2 boxes, and also the ability not to be able to jump up these unless you're a hunter who can actually disengage back up. You have to take the stairs, which are here and here, which also cause kind of weird line of sight, but there we go. I'm not saying anything, Blizzard, right? Nothing.
Oh, and in case you were wondering who was the
epic fail of the week,
the guy who got sunburnt and blah blah blah. Yeah, it was Robert Tibbet Link, an 80 rogue from Frostwolf EU. Tibbet from Frostwolf EU. TIBET. Go log on and ask him how his tan's working out.
But yeah, I mean, he did come on and watch the VODs, and you can check out all the VODs as well. So some pressure onto Sanchez at the moment. DK is going to drop down. That's going to leave him out the fight until he has to slowly go around. But actually, in fact, he's going to pull Sanchez down to fight him here. He is going to go reasonably low and actually going to get a kill. Looking, where is Phil Dryden? Just looking at the debuffs on him. If that's Phil, that can't be Phil Dryden because that's polyed. Phil Dryden, there you are. Hi, Phil. You let your teammate die, Phil. Bad, Phil. But yeah, I mean, Phil Dryden, the control it must have had on him to get that kill. But I just think that was a nice move. I mean, he dropped down, and I forget that his Death Grip is Imber, and can obviously pull some DPS target down, which is obviously his plan, obviously. Let's follow Sanchez, and see what he can make of the situation. Maybe we'll switch over to Phil a few times, see if he can see what he's doing and positioning to keep up his rogue under the sheer amount of pressure. So these aren't even gates. I don't know what these are that's going to open. What are these, Matt? They are kind of gates.
They're like kind of, I don't know. They're like concrete spider webs.
Wait for the concrete spider webs to unconcrete or open. All right, so Sanchez is going to go into the center, going to open up already, even in the midst of the whole team, onto Azox. There we go, once again, he's going to get pulled down. In comes a poly on top of that, though. Sanchez still jumping up to do damage onto Azox. Phil Dryden will now join his rogue along the bottom. You can see him there just off to your left. He's going to be healing him up. Cloak of Shadows just got used, and Sanchez will be making his way back up to the top. We're going to check over, actually, to the DK. Does get onto Phil. Phil's going to dispel the Chains of Ice, and now looking to get on top of that rogue once again. Phil keeping line of sight here, and this could be good but bad maybe for Azox. That fear hit all 3 of them. In comes a poly on top of the fear as well. Azox is having to fight 2 versus 3, as he does now have his DK to help. Machine is also out now and helping. There was also, onto the Mage. There was a Strangulate there, so that's already been used too. And Azox does get away into position. So target is going to be Machine. He is going to be taking a lot of damage. Not sure where his Demonic Portal is. You've got, on Machine, you've got
look at Sanchez, so he does go down, and really this has all been great play from Sickology, and I think Sanchez, maybe his control on Azox just wasn't the best, and when he finally got back on him during that game, he landed something like a 3-point kidney. Maybe should have waited for a 5-point before he landed it, and you know, that is one of the problems when you're a rogue trying to get on the back of a druid, and you know, you get kited off. When that wound poison expires, everything you've done, all the damage that you've done is just pretty much nothing once that wound expires.
Well, they actually tried to go for Machine at the end.
So on the top left of your screens is going to be Azox. On Druid. Machine is going to be on Warlock, and So Bad is going to be on Death Knight. On the right of your screen.
I hope So Bad isn't a play on Too Good, by the way. I find him.
I'm pleased he picks up on that. Yeah. So on the right side of your screens,
you got the joke.
Thanks. On the right side of your screens, it is going to be Rest in Many Pieces. Sanchez on Rogue, Alex on Mage, and Fieldrising on Priest.
All right, so following Sanchez then from the back, he's going to pop Sprint down the center, looking maybe to get a sap onto the DK. His pet will most likely get him in combat soon. There comes a sap as Pet gets pulled back. Pet didn't get him out of combat, and Sanchez will now open up onto Azox. So let's see what they can do with the CC. There was a fear onto Machine to begin with. That is going to be broken. Sanchez pulled all the way away from his current target, and Azox will eventually get out of that kidney. So that kidney was completely wasted, so to speak.
Early trinket used by Sanchez, actually. He is targeting Machine, so most of the damage is going to be focused onto him. Azox sitting in blind. He has used his trinket, so that's probably going to be a full duration. No, he didn't use his trinket, actually. He used it on that blind, so he is vulnerable now because Machine was under a lot of pressure, and now target switch onto Azox.
Yeah, it's going to be back onto Azox to see what they can do. In comes the pain suppression onto Sanchez. Goes down to 3k HP, looking for heals, but isn't going to get him. Fieldrising just couldn't get the heals off. You can see the, Curse of Tongues on him, but I wasn't sure the Strangulate came out, but they forced the trinket and try and get back on him, but when they did, they were just too low on HP. So it is going to be Sickology to beat an RiMP team, and will go through into the grand finals versus against All Authority, winning that one 3-1.